Hey,
Hello, everybody, and we're back again. It's so good to see you guys. But I have two very special guests with me. You know what we do here at Wake Up America? We put people on the hot seat. And today we have mom and daughter, Daisha and Bonnie, and we will be right back in 1 minute. And we're back. So, hi, Bonnie. Hi, Daisha. How are you guys doing?
good.
Phenomenal. Super excited for this.
Well, I'm super glad you guys agreed to do this. And, last week we were talking about relationships. And this week we decided to continue talking about relationships and bring a parental side, or I guess a parent point of view. And so let's get into it. So I know you guys have a beautiful relationship now. But from what I hear, it wasn't always this way. And my first question is directed towards you, Bonnie. I want to ask you. So when you found out that Daisha was gay, how did you feel? And what was going on inside? What happened?
I just felt disconnected. I felt appalled. I just couldn't believe that this was happening. I remember one statement that I had made to Daisha was, God had made Adam and Eve, not Eve and Eve. Like, that was just the way I felt. I felt like it was wrong. Like, it was just not something that was normal.
I see. And before we get on, everybody that's jumping on, we want to thank you guys for listening in to our broadcast. And just, introduce yourself, let us know where you're from. And if you want to ask us any questions, I want you to go ahead and ask us any questions you want. And exactly. And Bonnie, let me you. So, was it a feeling of acceptance? Was it more that you couldn't accept your daughter personally, or was it something more related to you were worried about what other people thought, or maybe what you were used to seeing, or being a part of growing up?
Yeah, I don't know. I just felt, like I said, disconnected. It wasn't normal, and I was worried about what other people thought, but at the time, there was no way that I could connect. Like, it was not normal at all. And in my life growing up, you never saw people who were gay.
Right. And were you worried during that time that maybe having this, this feeling would affect the relationship? Were you realizing that although you felt you couldn't connect, but at the same time, the not being able to accept her was a part of the problem? Or were you just so in it that you couldn't even see it at the time, like process it at the time?
Exactly. Yeah, I just couldn't process it. Like, I just felt like I had to do everything in my power to change her at that time. Even to the point where we were like a little bit physical, you know what I mean? Like, I'm going to knock this gay out of you type situation. Yeah, I just
How
felt
did that work?
I'm going to put that on a bumper sticker. I'm going to knock it out.
How did that work?
No.
Oh my God. And I want to just say a little shout out to everyone that's coming on. I want to thank you guys for being part of it. And Daisha, appreciate it, because it's not always very easy to talk about these things, but thank God that there are people who are willing to do it, because it'll only help others in their journey to be able to have an easier journey. So Daisha, now let's ask you. Your mom could tell how she was feeling. What was going on in your world at this time?
To be honest, I think I just fell into that state. You know how when you're a kid, you don't really know what's going on, and as soon as your parents tell you that you're wrong, you want to just rebel against them. I started going into a hatred mode, right? I kept telling my friends, my mom's the most horrible person, and I hate my mom and whatever, and my mom's the worst person ever. I just felt broken, so hurt that, like my mom said, I just felt completely disconnected. I felt like I already wasn't connected with my stepdad at the time, and my biological dad was dead, right? So I just felt like I had no real parents at that point.
Right. Oh, I'm so sorry, guys. It's so beautiful to be able to see you guys here now, right? And to be able to hear the journey. So what was the boiling point? What happened? So I know that there was a lot of stuff going on. You guys said it even got physical. What do you mean it got physical? You guys want to talk about that? And what was the catalyst in the whole relationship?
Well, I'm pretty sure I probably slapped her.
Just a couple times.
Is that where you get your
not really fists. Like, no, we were like outside, like literally rolling around on the ground. Like I was gonna tackle her. I didn't know what I was gonna do.
She tried to run me over with her car.
Oh my
I did
You did.
not. So anyway, I remember we were like rolling around on the ground outside, and she had like knocked my glasses off my face. I mean, it was pretty ugly. And then
Broke my glasses.
it was ugly.
Wow. And
I
so
did get in my car and drive towards her, and she thinks that I was trying to run her over with my car.
well, I'm gonna leave that open for interpretation. It's just, I'm not gonna take sides here, but okay, so wow, so it was really dramatic and intense. And that's usually what happens when so many things are being brought up, right? We all have these feelings, these trapped emotions that we've never dealt with. And I really believe that parenting is a lot that is sometimes there are things that we didn't work out, and the universe is saying, here's another opportunity for you to figure it out, right?
Yeah.
So you guys are here, and it's at this point. And what was the turning point? What happened? Did you guys separate after that? What happened in your life after this?
Well, I think for us, we still stayed not connected as mother-daughter at all for a little while. I remember we started talking a little bit, but she still wouldn't really talk to me. I had a point in my life where I went through, well, I don't know if I want to call it a midlife crisis, but anyway, I had done some things, and I ended up going to prison. During that time, though, it was probably the best thing that happened to me, not only for myself, but also for our relationship. You know, in those places, you meet a lot of people who are actually gay. You know, you meet people who are just gay for the stay, but right. But I totally connected to a lot of gay individuals in there as well, and I spent a lot of time talking to them, like trying to understand, what is it? How can that be possible? How could you be gay? You know what I mean? Like, what's going through your mind? And just communicating with them about, you know, you can't help who you love. And if you have that person who is on your level, and sometimes they're the only people that can really connect to you and make you feel like you are a person. You know, you don't really have a choice. And that's still to this day. I still say you can't help who you love, you know? And so that really opened up my eyes. And, you know, sometimes it takes a bad situation to have something good come out of it. And I think that was the best thing. Daisha and I connected while I was in prison. And when I came out, I mean, I don't know, it's just the best thing. And I would not have her any other way, believe me. She's had a couple of rough relationships that I am so glad that she's not with now, but I totally love her life, her wife. And it's just amazing. Yes. And to see her grow, you know, once I became acceptant of that, and to see her grow mentally, I mean, she's just an amazing person.
I love you, Mom. I think the turning point for me was when you were in prison, and I remember I got a letter from you, because we hadn't talked in like really talked, like had a conversation like 2 years. Wasn't it?
Yeah,
2-3 years. And I remember you sent me a letter and asked if I would come see you, and I was dating someone at the time, and that was like the biggest turning point. Like, we went there, my mom had cornrows in her hair, like she started it was so funny. She started telling me about how these gay women in there were calling her Mama Bonnie and like all of these things. And it was just, I remember the feeling, like I get chills thinking about it, because we were sitting there and we could just talk. Like, we hadn't talked like that in forever. She asked me to sing for her when we were in these little rooms with like a glass in between us. Like, and even though I couldn't touch her, like I felt more connected with her than I had in, I mean, who knows how long, since before 6th grade. So,
wow, that's amazing. Because I was going to ask you, like, how did you feel through all of this? And it's like you said, Bonnie, sometimes it takes something terrible to happen for you to be able to like see the light and be accepting. And so let me ask you, Bonnie, what would you tell someone who maybe is going through a similar experience? Maybe there's a mom who can't accept her child, or maybe wants her child to have a different route in life than they want to take. Now that you're here, now that you went through everything, what would you say? What would your words of wisdom be?
I would be focused on your love for your child, honestly. Like, if I would have done that to begin with, like, you know how many wasted years we had. But even if it's a tough thing to think about or to go through. I mean, if I would have thought about her feelings and, you know what I mean? If I would have connected with her instead of the people that I had connected in jail, you know what I mean? Like maybe I could have understood that sooner. Yeah.
So knowing what you know now, how would you have handled it?
Oh, we definitely would have done some talking, I'm sure, still. But yeah, I would just be more open-minded. I mean, this is a big world, and you know what? We as individuals have the choice to be who we are. And yeah.
Yes. And to whoever's listening, you know, that is part of what unconditional love is, you know, sometimes we think that we give birth to something or that we have something. We do this with animals too. We want to put them in outfits and we want them to do this and learn all these tricks. And it's part of our nature to want to make little mini-me's. But we have to understand that part of the human experience is that, you know, is leaving someone free to have their own experience, to create their own identity. And I know that, right? And I know that could be the hardest thing, but I think that's a whole part of the experience, right? And
right.
I guess the question to you is, as a teen, what were you feeling? And what could you tell a teen that maybe is feeling the same thing? Maybe they don't feel accepted, whether it's at home or let's say that it's even in another environment.
I would say, out of everything, don't lose your cool. And that may not be what people are probably going to expect. But in that moment, if I wouldn't have been so angry and resistant to what my mom was trying to say, or like even talk to me, like every single time she would try to talk and tell me I was wrong, I was trying to do the same thing. No, you're wrong, right? There was no like leveled communication. And if your parent isn't at that state of self-awareness, right, of wanting to be open, wanting to be able to communicate with you in an effective way for what you're going through, then you have to be that person, right? Sometimes the child has to teach their parent and vice versa, right? So it's okay for your parents, right? They're human. It's okay for them to get upset, right? If they need to take time, let them take a few days and then come back into the situation completely calm. And you need to tell your parents, be front up with them. Like, okay, I understand that you're not accepting of this, but I want you to understand how I feel. Can I explain this to you? And if you just ask your parent that one question, 9 out of 10 times they're going to say yes. And if they say no, if they're still hesitant towards you, you can't change how your parent is going to feel. So just focus on what you want to do in life and just continue to love them.
Yeah, but that's a really good point, Data. Because sometimes, you know, it just means we are all at different stages, and sometimes we think, well, my parents should know. I mean, they're the parent, they're the grown up. But sometimes life hasn't given you these tests. You know, this is the test right now, and so it's up to us to be able to accept that and realize that, you know, if I can do it. So basically, what you're saying is not to be as reactive.
Right. Yeah. I mean, basically, so instead of, like you said, instead of reacting to them being frustrated and reacting in the same way, allow yourself to calm down a little bit and be the one to make that change, right? If you're wanting your parents to change a little bit, you got to change inside of yourself with your communication as well.
Exactly. And always remember that. Yeah. It doesn't matter if it's the parent and you think that your parents should be doing this or should be doing that. You know, we're all in this journey. You know, we're all learning. It doesn't matter where we are at stages in life. We're all learning. But just remember that. Remember that you know, sometimes we think things are happening in our lives and they're happening to us. And we all have the tendency to think, oh my God, why is this happening to me? Or why can't they be like this? Or why can't they be like that? But like we were mentioning in the interview before, you know, it's asking the right questions. Is, okay, if this is happening to me, what is the lesson that I need to learn from here? And maybe it's like what Daisha said. Maybe the lesson is that you're the one that's supposed to lead the way. You're the one that's supposed to not react. You know, you're the one that's supposed to say, okay, well, we're still going to have this dialogue. We're still going to have this communication. You know, it doesn't have to go astray and not be reactive. And I know it could be a little hard.
100%. Oh, it's not going to be easy. Like, you're probably still going to have some words thrown, like my mom was saying, and be yelling and arguing with each other. But as long as you can come back down to that level, go from up here and come back down to that balanced level, it'll all work out.
Yeah. Yeah. So what would you like? Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, it's like that, that quote, Daisha, that I have on that shirt. It's, you know, about a situation. It's actually 10% about the situation and 90% of it is how you react to the situation.
Exactly. 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 So what would you guys say your relationship is now, and what is, I guess, the most important thing that you guys have in your relationship? What is, yeah, what brings, what creates the bond that you guys have that maybe you could explain to others so that they could have a successful relationship like the one that you guys have?
Now we're just so open to talk to each other. Our communication is amazing. I can talk to Daisha about anything. And she's so more level-minded than I am. Like I watch her videos now and I'm just like, that's my baby girl. Like she is just amazing. And I think the trust and the love that we have now is more amazing. And not saying that we wouldn't have it now, but I feel like it has grown because we have been through it.
Yeah.
Amen to that. And I think it's like my mom said, I mean, the communication, like before I used to be scared to tell my mom things because of her being so upset with me being gay, like just being who I am. So when I would tell her like maybe a mistake that I would make, I would just be so scared that I would lie to her. Right. And now I don't lie to my mom at all. I mean, she knows I smoke weed. Like she knows that I live like kind of on edge a little bit sometimes, but she knows that I love her unconditionally. And I think that's what it is. Like no matter what struggle we're going through, whether it's financial, whether it's mental, whether it's communication, like we know that we're going to get back to that communication level no matter how frustrated and pissed off that we get at each other. So yeah. I just love you, Mom. I love you.
I love you too.
You're so awesome. And I just want to say something in regards to what you said, Daisha, because it's so true. And a lot of times it's the story. It's the stories that we create. So we think that our children should be this way. We think that this should be like this. We think our lives were supposed to be this way. What's happening? I thought it was, and you know, that's sometimes a problem. That's part of the journey. It's listening to the story that we have and telling another story, because whatever we've been given in this life, it's a part of our experience, and there's a reason for it, and there's a lesson for it. So instead of thinking that things are happening to us, like my daughter's gay, you know,
right?
Why is this happening to me? Think, this is happening for me. Maybe I need to be more accepting, like what Bonnie learned. Like maybe I need to be more unconditional in my relationships with others. Because remember, guys, this experience is all about relationships. It's all about relationships. Relationships are the cornerstone of society. And actually, through this experience, the way we learn in life is through relationships. And I want to give a little shout out right here to Wise Rinder. Unconditional love is a total acceptance of the other human being, and I absolutely agree.
I love that.
I love that too. Travell, love the real
Travell!
talk. Hey, we love Travell. Travell's so awesome, and absolutely true. Unconditional love is the most important thing, and it's something that we all need to have in practice. And I don't know if you guys want to say something else. In reference to no.
I would say, I mean, unconditional love, like they said, it's without conditions, right? It doesn't matter what condition is going on. If you truly love someone, you're going to figure out a solution for it. So just remember, it's unconditional love, not for the conditions themselves.
Exactly. And always try to remember, like I said before, things are happening for us, not to us. And when we start changing the questions and the stories that we tell ourselves, then we'll start to understand that this is actually a blessing in disguise. So without further ado, guys, we're going to let you guys go. I want to thank you so much, Daisha and Bonnie, for being here and for being so open and honest about your relationship. And I really hope that whoever's out there, you guys can see that no matter what you're given in life, okay, you're giving it for a reason. So like Daisha said, like Bonnie said, unconditional love, communication, and openness is what you need, not only in relationships, but in life. So I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your Monday.
Hey, one more thing, guys, too. If you guys want to learn more about the strategies and the things that we've done for our mindset hacks, make sure to head over to teenwarriorsummit.com. We're going to be hosting a summit next month that's really aimed towards teens, right? Teens are going through the hardest times and they're our future, right? So we got to make sure that they're taken care of. So go over to teenwarriorsummit.com. You guys can buy a ticket to the summit where we're going to have speakers, performers, and it's just going to be a rocking time.
Oh my God, yeah, we got a new performer today. I'm really excited. And with that being said, we're going to play a short video for you guys, for those who haven't been able to see the summit and what it's about. And we'll see you in a second.
Bye, thank you.
The Teen Warrior Summit was created out of the desire to have the much needed discussions when it comes to teens. So many teens now are dealing with depression, anxiety, negative self-talk, suicidal thoughts, and even addiction. They become addicted to technology, smartphones, porn, video games, social media, and even drugs. We aim to arm teens with the tools needed so they can be their own superheroes in life. The 5 elements of a superhero are confidence, courage, commitment, control, and purpose. That is what we are going to be teaching you inside of the Teen Warrior Summit.